come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessings, blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure. I don't hear myself. Do you hear me, John?
Unfortunately, I do.
I do.
I hear you. You're loud and clear. Good evening, everyone.
All right.
Put that mic down so people can see me.
Yeah, nobody wants to see you, John.
I don't want to see your ugly ass. Oh, I'm sorry. That's all right.
All right. So
Dr. Brian, I like that hairstyle there.
Well, thank you.
Letting it all hang out.
Wait. I'm not even gonna say nothing about her hairstyle. Hi, Dr. Brian. How are you? Last time I said something about somebody's hairstyle, all of a sudden it was more than what I was saying. So I'm not even gonna acknowledge. You know what? When we have comments that came out of the last meeting with Linda, right? I feel that even if the hairstyle looks good, I'm not even gonna comment. So how you doing, Dr. Brian?
I'm doing fabulous.
What? She said fabulous? What got into you?
Let me tell you, I am enjoying life.
Jesus, right? Jesus is Lord.
All right.
No, I really am.
You're enjoying what? I'm sorry?
I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Enjoying who? You said life? Who?
What's wrong with you, John, tonight? So it's great. It's great. It's a beautiful day. It's no snow. We're in November. Just being able to get out to see different things, different people. It's a fabulous thing. And to see kids engage in a different light. So,
Doc, it's great to see kids engaged, but what's up with the 6-year-old bringing a gun to school up in the Bronx? What's up with that?
Listen, the sad thing
Break
is
it down for us, Doc. Break it, please.
This evening, I heard about the 18-year-old that got killed in Queens.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I got to interrupt you. I know you don't like to be interrupted. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us right here.
Oh, man, we get
wait. On the Village
He's
Radio
right.
Talk.
He's right. Thank you.
On the Village Radio Talk Show. You could join us anywhere from Gospel JA, from the Bronx, Florida, Jamaica on Gospel JA, in New York at 92.1 FM GD Radio, on all of the Facebook page, Dr. Joanne Bryant, John L. Sampson, Roderick F. Daly, Andre Dolman, and Sophia Willisey. You can also hit us up on TuneIn Radio. And most and foremost, I want you to join us on YouTube. Subscribe to our page as we try to grow to help more and more of the community. Join us and subscribe on YouTube. And thank you for sharing our platform with you out there. We're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any point, at any age, starting from today. Exciting.
Can we get back to
Yeah, go
what
ahead.
we're talking about?
I mean, oh,
Go
by
ahead,
the way,
Doc.
today Thursday, right? We have no guests because so many things
So
happen
it's Freestyle
over
Thursday.
the last week that we just want you, our audience, to get more and more involved. We don't want to hear ourselves. We want to hear you. 718-841.
We at Angie. We at Mo. Where y'all
Right.
guys at tonight?
John needs
I know
you.
Jennifer. I know Jennifer's in Puerto Rico or Somos. So
Oh,
she
is this weekend?
Is this week?
Oh man, I wish
I'm
I'd known.
I'm
I would've
surprised you here.
I didn't know. If I knew I was gone, I would be gone. I
I
was
know.
literally gonna make a phone call for that. Anyway, the 18-year-old. I didn't know about that. Tell me about that.
Yeah,
I'm
the
so busy
18-year-old
watching
got
politics.
shot right in front of their schools in Kew Gardens this afternoon at dismissal. He got shot in the torso several times, and by the time he got to the hospital, he was dead. So, and some of the kids, of course, you go into a hard lockdown or whatever. So it is traumatizing to see that, hey, as you're exiting school, as you're leaving school, there's no regard for
Got shot in the head.
No,
the
torso.
the body.
The torso. Yeah.
Several times.
Do you know what torso is?
Yes, I
Educator?
I
Okay.
absolutely do.
Just want to make sure.
By the way, just for the record, as dumb and as I sound from time to time, okay, I went to Rutgers University postbachelor program in medicine. All right.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
All right. So I might
When?
look dumb on the air.
When?
And by the way, I have
When was that? 50 years
2000.
ago?
when it was 2000 to 2002. All right, that's when I went there. I didn't complete the program, so have you know that I was on my way. I was on my way to medical school. So whatever. I do know what a torso is. Right. I might not be a lawyer or a doctor, but I have enough knowledge. Thank you.
You are a wannabe.
I want to be everything. Right. Anyway, so 18-year-old, what did they say? What's the prognosis? He's gonna make it?
He's dead.
But you see,
I didn't hear.
Listener, you see, this is what we talk about.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, audience. I would take full credit for that. I did not hear. I heard shot in the torso coming out of school. Hot shot in the head, actually, coming out of
If you
school.
let the doctor finish, you would have heard it.
By the time he arrived to the hospital, he was dead. And this is at dismissal today in an area that they'd say only had 8 murders this year. So it's really sad overall. Queens, Kew Gardens, that area, 77th Road or whatever, it's typically a quiet area. So
well, Doc, you talk about that quiet area, then you talk about that 6-year-old who brings a handgun to school.
Wait, I just want to point out something. Thank you, Simone. Did it come up yet? I don't know if it's showing. Wait, where's Simone's comment?
Why Simone bothering?
Right, Simone, I thank you. First of all, thank you, Simone. Please don't diss John. All right, thank you, Simone.
Simone,
thank you,
don't
Simone.
get me started.
All right.
I don't want to direct my disses towards you, please.
Right.
Let's be very kind today.
Right. Hello, Simone. Right. So yeah, but it continued. But John and Dr. Brian, I got a text. I don't know if I did speak about some of it last week with the gang violence, but this was Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did.
Right. And we find that so many young people, the crime happens, majority of the crime happens between the ages of 15 and 29.
29, you said?
29, right? But as you get closer and closer to 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Right? The crime numbers increase. So as you get closer and closer to 21, the crime numbers increase. So 15 is a lot. 18 to 22 is 17 to 22 is extremely high. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Make sure. Look, you heard that?
What?
No, I meant please don't be disrespectful to John. Thank you very much, Simone. I appreciate it.
No, I heard it the right way, Simone. Right? So it's a problem. Why? And this is about a month or two ago. I spoke to. We were talking about crime, right, and the fear of crime in our neighborhood and what we grew up with, and right, and the issue, right, the issue is every time, every age, every walks of life, it's always the same age group. How do we, as adults, prepare the next generation? How do these kids who are going to grow up now, how do they prepare their children not to repeat the same problem? Because that's where it's going to come out.
You know, that's a holistic approach. That's a holistic approach from just providing not only educational opportunity, but employment opportunity. It's an approach that begs for community involvement, elected officials to be involved, business people to be involved. We have to the clergy to be involved in order to try to change the trajectory of those individuals or those young, that age group between 15 to 29. You know, it's the mindset that they have, and their mindset that they have is one of sort of like an existential attitude, meaning just live for today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's not promised. It's true, tomorrow's not promised. But at the same time, because of that mentality, they lack the vision. You know, they lack the vision to know that I can be doing something else that can provide opportunities that could leave a legacy. But they don't see that. But another thing is, a lot of these kids, they don't leave their community. They are the embodiment of what goes on in their communities. It's when they leave the communities to see how other people live, and just accepting what life has to offer you, and understand that what life has to offer you is unlimited as long as you are able to take advantage of it. But the point is that we have to collectively be involved to change that trajectory.
You know, you mentioned a good point that many people don't leave their community. And I think that would be an area or avenue for people to actually go international.
Yes, 100%.
So if, and not only leaving international, but if you go and you visit different areas, different states, and to see how lucky New Yorkers are, they will appreciate what they have. Like a lot of people complain, oh, education in New York or whatever. We actually have one of the best education systems. When you go to other states, you don't see the same quality. I have friends in other states that don't see the same quality of education. Yes, every place is not going to be perfect, but you know what? What's offered in New York, you will not find in other places, like down south or whatever. It's one building, one school. Here, you get to pick so many different schools that you can go to. You have option and choices. And people don't understand when you have option and opportunities, and you don't understand that it's option and opportunities. When it's taken away from you, then you'll embrace it.
And I think that's what has to happen. You know, those kids who are the troubled youth, and those who we feel that are going down the wrong path. Sometimes, honestly, we need to gather them all up, gather them together, and you know what? Let's take them
on a road trip.
On a road trip, take them internationally, take them upstate. You know, drop them in the woods. Honestly, drop them in the woods.
Yeah.
You know, and drop them in the woods and say, you know, how are you going to survive? What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? And this is unlike prison.
Right.
Eventually you have an opportunity to go home, but you need to see what it is to be able to provide for yourself, and try to limit the use of violence, the avarice that you may have to possess something that is not rightfully yours. So at some point in time, we have to, it's like they always talk about, it takes a village to raise a child. but it takes a child to raise the consciousness of that village. And the
Mm.
consciousness of the village been has has been raised
Mhm.
when we see the constant influx of criminal activity in our communities committed by a small group from the ages of 15 to 29.
It's
We
getting younger. It's 13, it's 12.
we gotta take it over.
Thank you, Simone. Thank you, Doc. I've been saying that about New York. A lot of other states don't have what we have. It's true.
A lot of states don't have what they, but there's
So-
some states who have more than what we have, and they need to see that too.
So one of the things that I heard the tail end of part of the conversation,
Mhm.
right? And so one of the things that we need to find out is that New York City school community is just too big.
Mm-hmm,
That's the problem,
Mhm.
right? When you go to other areas of the country, a school system is not that big.
Mhm.
We have the largest school system in the world,
True.
Mhm.
okay? And they need to break it down. And so children, when you go to a lot of other schools,
Mhm.
systems, because I don't know how, I know you had the opportunity to travel. I don't know if you traveled to go to different educational system, but I know you, even around New York State, you had the opportunity to see that. You will have a propensity for less violence if the community is one.
Mhm.
What does that mean? When I was at Erasmus,
Yeehaw.
right? When I was at Erasmus, the kids who were at Caton Park had a fight with the kids at Newkirk.
Mhm.
The kids at Newkirk and 26 had an issue with the kids at Vanderveer.
Mhm.
The kids at Vanderveer had an issue with the kids in East New York.
Mhm.
And then in East New York, across the street from each other, they came to our school and they had a fight with each other.
Mhm.
The reality is, when I went down south, not that they're without these headaches,
Mhm.
but the murders were less because I knew your mama.
Mhm.
Because we live in the same community and I know your mama. I know your papa. I know your papa. So they would think twice.
But remember, that's then. But now you don't know who Mama and Papa is.
No, but I'm saying in certain communities in the South, in certain areas, I'm telling you, like, so when you you know that the majority, like if for example, why Roderick, why aren't you hearing full sentences tonight? What did you drink in your cran water? Cranberry, less water. That's the problem. But what happens is, let's say for example, you live in Elmont,
Okay.
right? And your neighboring town is Valley Stream, right? That's the next town.
Mhm. Mhm.
The people in Valley Stream can't go to school in Elmont.
Mhm.
So you know, if somebody in Elmont is going to cause a problem, that kid is in Elmont. And it's an easier access to who their parents are. If the kid is in Valley Stream, that's why one of the things, I don't like how they group Brooklyn together. I don't like how they group Manhattan together.
Mhm.
So back in the 90s and early 2000s, I never wrote Brooklyn on any letters. I always wrote Canarsie. I wrote Canarsie, New York. I wrote, like now, I still sometimes do it. I do Flatlands, New York. I don't do Brooklyn because one, they group the whole thing together. They criminalize you. They group it together for cost.
You're talking about the county? The county?
Kings County.
Okay.
They group it together,
Mhm.
right? And one of the reasons why they group it together is to be more to what do you call that thing? John's word is regressive tax, because they put all the car insurance is you're in Brooklyn. They don't go by zip code, but in Long Island, every town is a zip code, and you pay less taxes everywhere in Long Island. I mean, you pay less.
That's not true. That's not true.
No. You pay not taxes. That's the wrong term. You pay less for car insurance almost everywhere in Long Island, except for Freeport. In Freeport and Bayshore, you pay a little bit more money. right? But if you live in Elmont, you live in Valley Stream and certain other places. Why? Because they don't say you live in Nassau County. They say you live in Elmont. So if you look back, so let's go back to what I'm talking about with the schools. The school, right? The better the school system is, the less violence you have. But if I can group everybody together, I'm gonna spread the violence around. And so I can't fix Tilden High School because some of the kids at Tilden High School they go to South Shore.
Right.
So therefore, so if South Shore is great, I'm good there. So let's work on Tilden High School. We can't work on Tilden High School because they're spread all over the damn city. So when you go to different places, you go to Suffer and Elmont, the violence are less because I can focus on the violence in this area, the problem of this school.
You know what? I'm going to address what Simone says. She says, I work in an alternative high school, and I see why some of these children are the way they are. Some of the parents have no interest in
put it up on the screen. Put it up on the screen.
Their children.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Please. Thank you.
There you go.
Whether their children attend school or not. And that has a lot to do with having younger parents, having disengaged parents. Another thing, if children found the relevance of school and education and subject areas and things like that and found purpose, they would stay away from certain things. So it's more about purpose. What purpose are we giving them? They have to have a purpose on seeing next week, on not only seeing today, like you were saying, John. They have to have focus for goals and things to strive for. It's like they lost this, they have no hope. And we have to infuse hope back into their lives again. And it takes so many more than just schooling. It takes, like you said, community. It takes activities outside. It takes the church. It takes everyone to recognize and just make them realize that they are important, that they have so much to offer. Because you know what? Growing up, many times you have to make decision on what you want to do when you grow up or whatever. Half of the adults don't know what they want to do. So it's a lot of pressure to put on young people. But if you just start encouraging them and saying, you know what, you're good at this, or you might want to look at that, or you might want to do this, and I celebrate you for the leadership skills that's coming out, little things will just try to pique their interest in regards to that. If you see something that they're interested in, celebrate it and just try to add more to it.
And Doc, I agree with you. We need to spend more time meeting them where they're at. Instead of thinking or want them to be what we want them to be, we need to find out, we need to get to their level and find out what they want to do, what they want to be, what are the obstacles, what are they thinking, to what do they perceive success to be? What do they perceive being educated to be? Everybody, you talk to all those young people, it's about making money. Making money, buying things. They believe that these things are status symbols, meaning that if I got this, I'm in the in crowd. We have to change that, and those ideas are great, but now we need to flip the switch on them and show them how those are entrepreneurial skills that we can teach you. If you teach you how to be an entrepreneur, how to make your own, how to provide you with an opportunity. Everybody want to hustle and sell drugs or rob. You know what? What can you do to make it legitimate? What can you do? How can you be creative? I see these kids, they love these video games. They love all this technology and stuff like that. How can you become tech savvy, and create your own app, create your own web, so we have to meet them where they're at. We have to let them have the conversation. Let us sit back and let's listen to them instead of us always talking to them about, yeah, you can do well. This is what you need to be doing. No, we need to ask them, what can make you better? What could how can we create opportunities so you can excel in what you really want to do? So those are the things that I think, obviously you see him come here with just a cup for himself, but it's all good. Ladies and gentlemen of the village. Getting back to the villagers,
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, John doesn't drink coffee.
Your thought.
I
drink.
And John has one bottle of water.
Excuse me, hold on. If you want to put the camera around, there's another bottle of water over there right in the corner.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. I only see one.
Thank you. You only see one. Yeah. I got a bottle, and there's a bottle over there in the corner, villager. So I think of Mr. Daly.
He's a lush.
Unlike him thinking about us.
John is just a lush.
Yeah. I'm a lush for knowledge and wisdom.
Kumbaya.
Not, I was going to say something like that.
Just an overall education of youth. I just feel lost in every generation.
We know you lost, but go ahead.
No. I'm being serious, right? I am lost
exactly. I was serious about that
in many ways, but why generationally we are always at the bottom?
Why do you think we at the bottom, brother? It's very simple.
Why?
It's very simple why we're at the bottom. Because we fail to love and appreciate ourselves. We have not evolved from that slave mentality and that crabs in the barrel mentality.
So the question is, how did you change?
If one person goes up the ladder, we're going to grab him by the ankle and pull him down.
A lot of
people lauding the person, say, brother, you know what? One more step. Keep going. Keep moving.
That's true.
Let's be cheerleaders.
So true.
Instead of being distractors. Like how you always try to distract us, Mr. Daly.
But you're having a large coffee.
No.
John, I agree.
It's true.
Right? But the problem is, you see, I always talk about who is willing to make the sacrifice. I feel,
we all need to make the sacrifice.
Right? Even in my household, I get upset, right? When the conversation comes up, I don't remember how the whole thing goes, but I walk so you can run, or something along those lines. The problem is many children, one, cannot appreciate certain things because they're not used to it. But at the same time, I don't want to see my children struggle.
We don't want to see them struggle, but there's a work ethic that we need to teach them. My father, he didn't want me to struggle, but he made sure I got out there and worked.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, the lack of so therefore, like, one of the things when I used to work for the UFT, and one of those things that when I used to work for the UFT, it was people didn't understand the plight of the union from 1965. They didn't get that 1962, that there was a fight. There was a strike. In the 70s, there was a strike. You would tell a teacher nowadays to strike and they will spit in your face. Oh, I'm going to lose my money.
Yeah, true that.
Right? And so the issues, I've gained all of these already. Why should I fight for them? Why do you think pro-life is now, pro-choice is a debate now? Right? People, you have the right to vote, but I don't have to vote if I don't have to. Why?
Right.
But when you couldn't vote,
right,
and you died trying to vote, it was important.
And it's the same thing with public transportation. There's so many sacrifices that was made for freedom, for the ability to do things. I get upset when I see these clowns and fools um, become imitators, and what's happening on public transportation shouldn't happen, because the thing is, it was a fight for us to even sit in the front to be able to do things. So now you feel so privileged that you're pushing people off, that you're attacking people.
Not only that, you're pushing people to the back of the bus. You're like, I'm fighting to go to the back of the bus so I can do mischief. Are you serious?
So yeah, we're going backwards, and instead of going forward and stomping on those who sacrificed, who shed blood, who died in a process of freedom.
Here, Roderick Daly is going to say something.
What you gonna say?
But they don't give up. But you know what? We don't give a.
No, I think some of these young people.
They don't know what sacrifice is.
It's not that they don't know, John.
No, they don't know what.
John, I don't think they know what sacrifice is.
They don't.
But here's the problem: like you just said, John, no one has challenged them to sacrifice. They know what the hell. Of course, they know what sacrifice is, but no one has challenged them to sacrifice. None of them, if you're in Israel, every child has to go. Every child, once you turn 18,
military,
has to go to the military. If you're in England, you could be the king.
But it's the same thing here. You have
no, it's not. No, it's not. Here, it's you have a choice. And in black families, they don't want you to go to the military. Don't even tell a West Indian person that their kid is going to the military. I know you're smiling because I know if I told you your son needs to go sign up for the military, you're like, hell no. And that's part of the problem. The military teachers should teach, not necessarily fully, right? But should teach discipline and commitment. But what do we say? Oh, my kid can't go. He's going to die. He's going to die where? He's going to die anyway. Life is about death because we all must die. So I don't know, John. I don't know. The sacrifices, they're just not there. And sometimes they should be told to get off the damn bus. But then all of a sudden, I'll rise up because you told me my kid needs to get off the bus because he's black or he's white or he's acting the fool. And you weren't protecting. Somebody just wrote, which is what I'm not going to stay home, which is part of the issue. I'm not going to go to work and leave no child sleeping in my house. That was my parents' thing. So on school days and days off, I told you as soon as 1989, I was 17. My mom says, and not only did I have to work, John, I have to give her part of my earnings.
Hey, of course. My mother didn't have to ask. I knew to give my mother part of my earnings. And most of the time she put that earnings aside and she saved it. She never used it. But it's all about the respect that we have for the family, but the discipline that was instilled in us from a very early age. But the problem now is you have children having children. There is no discipline. There's no direction. And as a result, you have confusion and chaos. And what does confusion and chaos lead to? Poverty, incarceration, and perpetual poverty and perpetual incarceration. That is a cycle that continues to evolve until we change I think villages, let me tell you something, it's all about being uncomfortable in life, because if you're uncomfortable in life, you're going to strive better. It's just like sometimes when you're incarcerated, you create a routine, but you create that routine so you can be able to get through the time. But at the same time, what goes on is you don't get comfortable. You are so uncomfortable. You want that freedom. Sometimes, it's unfortunate. Sometimes our rights need to be taken away from us to appreciate what we have. And I tell you this year's election.
What the music is saying.
Yeah.
Especially
caller, you're live, caller. And who's
caller?
Who's the caller? And who the caller? Yes.
Oh, the caller.
Yes. Who the caller?
This is Simone.
Oh.
Kumbaya.
Simone,
Simone,
Simone.
can you do me a favor, Simone, before you even make a comment?
Simone.
Can you just give John a tongue lashing for me, please?
Simone.
Nope.
Why she gonna give me a
Nope.
tongue lashing?
Go ahead.
Welcome,
guys.
Simone,
Welcome,
to the
Simone. Welcome
village.
to the village.
John sound
Yes,
like he's on
welcome.
a different road tonight, and I'm messing with you tonight. I don't know who's up on John Corn, but
We don't have corn. I get a manicure, pedicure every 2 weeks. I
that don't mean you don't have. That don't mean you don't have.
Exactly. Thank you.
I don't have no corn.
Yeah, Simone,
My
tell him
feet-
say it's about wearing your
my
size.
feet are pretty.
Thank you.
Right? You must wear your
Thank
size.
you.
That's probably why he has to get a manicure or pedicure every 2 weeks. So anyway, talk to us. Talk to us, Simone.
Anyway,
You're live.
I'm listening, and my son, who's 25, is listening, and he was saying that one of the problems with now and then is that the type of music that the kids are listening to now.
When you say
it's
now
more-
and then, are you talking about? Tell me the time frame that you're talking about.
He's
His time, our time.
25. No, he's 25, and he's saying the younger kids in high school that's coming up now.
Oh,
They're
And he's just
listening to.
okay. Recently removed. Okay.
Yeah, but still, they're listening. He's like in high school, when they listen to certain songs, they weren't doing the things that the songs are saying. But now you have the kids acting out and doing the things that the songs are saying. They're glorifying. They have this trap music, and they throw words at each other, and they go out and they act out on it.
Mhm.
They say, oh, I'm going to shoot you when you get out of school, whatever the trap music says. And that's exactly what they do.
Mhm.
The thing that I don't agree with, and I always never agree with this, is when they say children are having children. Because if we want to be honest, and if our grandparents want to be honest, a lot of them were children having children back in the days.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all about discipline now. Back
You
then,
see
we
through a
wanted
glass house.
children-
But Simone, when those
Parents
back in the day,
involved.
back in the day when
Grandparents.
the children had children, there was a family nucleus.
Yeah.
There was a
I
family
disagree,
nucleus
John.
around them.
I disagree, John.
Yeah.
I agree with John. You know why? Because the thing is, if somebody, if I remember a couple of people I know who had kids in 4th grade and 6th grade or whatever. Guess who was raising them? Yes, I'll never forget. Guess who was raising them? The grandparents.
Right.
The grandparents was raising them. So you had the parents and the grandparents. Because guess
But
what?
we have to realize there was something called respect. We actually had a village then.
That
But
I
even
would
though there
agree
were
to
kids
respect.
I would agree
having-
with you. We
even
had a
though there
village.
were
You're right.
kids having kids,
We had a village.
I would do something. But even though Tom Jones might be 20 years old, and I didn't know Tom Jones was 20 at the time, he could beat me, and I couldn't go home and say something. Now you look at a kid too hard, Ma, I like how the teacher look at me. I don't like what the teacher say. Who you think show up at the school the next day to curse out the teacher
Yeah, the
and curse
parents.
out the adults?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you expect? It's not
So-
a matter of children having children. It's a lack of respect.
Let me see. We lost 2 generations in the 80s. That was great. That was a great loss that brought us to where we are now. We lost 2 generations in the 80s.
That crack.
You know what it comes down to also? It comes down to society having a say. Because we have social media now and we're more exposed.
Mhm.
Oh, you're
It-
going to tell me that my child can't do this? Oh, you crazy? And
See,
everything's a
I-
camera out and everybody's acting out.
I agree with you,
I-
Simone.
you
about
know,
that
I don't
social
agree with
media.
Simone.
Agree.
Simone,
I agree
wait,
with
Simone,
I
wait, Simone, you and I are in the same age group. You, me, and John are in the same age group, and
Okay.
Joanne, but she's a little bit younger, right?
I'm a lot younger.
Whatever, right? In your head, right?
What?
Mhm.
The fact is, my mother in 1982
Mhm.
would not send me to the park.
Right?
She refused to send me to the park.
Mhm.
There was stonewashed jeans.
But
Wait,
we have
Wait, hold on.
society-
Wait.
Okay.
There's a point I'm getting at.
Okay.
They didn't allow me to go to the park in the 80s.
Mhm.
Why? Oh, you're gonna get beat up. I went to Bronxville Recreational Center,
BRC. yo.
BRC. I had on a
Jocko,
brand
rest
new
in
pair
peace.
of suede Pumas.
Stonewash or acid wash. Mhm.
The Pumas. You remember the
Yeah.
Pumas just started coming
Yeah.
out.
I got my pay. I still got mine.
Yeah, right. I got
Mhm.
about 4 or 5 guys attacked me
Mhm.
and beat me up, right? Right?
Pumas?
For my Pumas.
She got
Mhm.
jacked for
And
your Pumas.
I got jacked for my Pumas right at Linden and Mother Gaston. Got
Mhm.
jacked. I didn't take my Pumas. They took it off my feet because I'm Jamaican. I'm
So
I'm
you
not
will-
going. I'm
you-
not
you
going
walk-
down. I'm not going down.
Mhm.
Right. I'm not going down like back then. Like I would not advise my kid to do. I would like give up the damn sneakers. Right. But the point that I'm making is
So you walked home barefoot.
no.
and
I got my
everything.
sneakers back. I told you I didn't go home without my sneakers. But I got a black eye though. The fact of the matter is, each generation, Emmett Till,
Mhm.
1955,
Mhm,
whistling at a white woman,
mhm,
getting killed.
mhm.
Mhm.
In the hold on one second, Simone. Caller, you're live, please hold.
Mm.
Right? That each
Mhm.
generation, though the access is greater now,
Mhm.
Right.
each generation, our parents had a comment of why you didn't want to go outside.
Mhm.
So saying that they have more access is true,
I think
but the
socially and society has
but
caused a lot
society
of what's
itself
going
has
on.
always had the issues. I mean, back then, right?
But
It was
now we are exposed to other culture more than just looking at an encyclopedia and learning about a culture. Now we
true.
can actually see it. We have access to seeing it live and direct. And you hear, oh,
Immediate
your child needs to
gratification.
go to the park to run up and down. Your child needs this. Your child needs that.
Yeah, I
Is
think
it
well,
good for the
right.
child because society say the child needs it? Does that mean that it's good for the child? No.
You know what? Let me talk to your son for let me talk to you. Where's your son? Let me put him on the phone for a
DJ,
second.
hold on. He wants to talk to you for a second. Hold on.
Who's the other caller, my friend?
Oh, shoot, we do have another caller,
Yeah,
but we do have another caller. What I'm sorry. Hello?
He's hearing you.
What's your name?
How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing? What's your name?
CJ.
TJ, pleasure meeting Rock Daly from the Village, John Sampson and Joanne Bryan. I want to ask you a question. You're removed 7 years from high school, and for you to see that the music and people living out the music and not is part of the problem. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people are living out the music, and why that is?
Why do I think that they're living out the music?
Yeah, I think because you said part of the issue with the young violence now is the music, and you're only 7 years removed.
It's not that they live. I mean, I guess they're living out the music, but it's really just because that's what they think is cool. Like everybody grew up listening to I grew up listening to Jay-Z, and what he said was cool. Like I thought what he said was right. So it's the same thing. It's just that's what they think is right, and they don't understand that's not what we really outside doing.
That's not reality. Basically, they want to make what
they just it's like entertainment for them, and they're using it in real life. They don't really have nothing else to do, so it's just it's like when we grew up playing with Nerf guns, they just play with real guns.
You know, that's a good point. I
That's a good
appreciate that.
point. That's a good point.
Thank you, TJ. Nerf gun versus real gun. That's true. And too much access to it. Thank you, TJ, for that comment. Simone, thank you so much for calling in.
You're welcome. Take care.
All
All
right.
right. Bye-bye.
Caller, you're live. TJ, for that comment. Simone, thank you so much for calling in.
You're welcome. Take care.
Caller, you're live.
Hi, this is Sherry Ann Cambridge. As you were saying in regarding to you having your sneakers taken off. Hi, this is Sherry Ann Cambridge.
We're getting the feedback.
We could hear the feedback in the background.
Yeah, I took off the TV. I put it on mute.
Okay.
For me, one of my experiences, I had gun that was taken off to take off my earrings at that time. During that time, when they was robbing you and you had to take off not only your shoes, your shoes, they use razor. You had to either they threaten you with razors at that time when I was growing up in high school, and that was when they were taking off your knockers, the gold earring in your ears.
Right.
But
The
now
door knockers, we used to call them.
the door knockers, yeah, that's what they were. That's what they were taken from at that time. But now, and they were using razors. They wasn't using guns, right? They say, I will
What they
cut
call it,
your
a
face.
50? You got a 50 across the face when you got a big, what?
Gash, yeah, but that's
A 50, right? It's a 50 because it would have 50 stitches or something like that.
That's right.
Right.
That and back to you cannot discipline a child on the street. For example, I would say, "Can you tie your shoelace?" They look at you and they curse. Don't talk to me, and they use the derogatory comment. So you cannot say you help raise in a village because they don't respect you.
Mm.
They don't respect you. So
Makes
sometimes
sense.
sometimes you just have to see things happen. You want to intercede, but you can't because you and yourself is feared for your life because they will pull out a weapon on you.
And they don't respect who it is either. They don't. You know, back in the days, there are people
That's
that
why
you respect.
sometimes you know you respect it, but sometimes that's why you got to whoop that ass. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate.
But you can't
but
even
you
beat
have
the
to.
kids nowadays. The
Who said you
system,
cannot.
Who
You
say
cannot-
you?
you
Who say
cannot-
you can't beat them?
right?
I would.
I cut. Yeah, I will.
Eh,
I'm not.
We
I'm
don't
far
want to.
from you. I'm
We-
far from you. I'm far from you in terms of whooping.
I'd rather
But-
whip. Do you want my? I'd rather whip my child than have a correction officer
Whip that child.
brutalize them.
Because you know, after that's done, you're done too. But after that's done, they're done. Right?
You have had, but not only that, you have had parents come up to the school and want to
fight
want
the
to
teachers.
fight
Yep,
the
the administrators. Yep.
and administrators because I used to volunteer for my son in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was a PTA person, and you had parents when you're trying to let them know that this is a child that's acting up. They smoking, they weed, they doing sexual acts underneath the stairs, and they coming up and they.
Oh,
It's
that's
like, you cannot touch it. You cannot touch my child.
you know, Sherry Ann, G. Hutch wrote this comment, and I think it goes along the lines of what you're saying. They don't respect themselves, so they have no gauge to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
Sums it up.
that's on point.
But you know what? But it's what's on point too is this: you have to meet them where they are at.
Why?
And you know why? Because if they want to go that route, I'm going to let you know I can get to your level.
So you're
I
gonna
can
say
deal
so
with
you're gonna
I
teach
can-
them disrespect.
I will. No. Exactly. But the whole thing out of their mouths, they want to disrespect you, but everything out of their mouth is don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect me. Don't
But it's
disrespect me.
happening.
But I know that, and that's what they say. Don't disrespect me. You know, and
You know-
my whole point was I'm going to meet you where if you want to engage into disrespectful activity, I will too engage in disrespectful activity in a different manner, in a different way, to belittle you, to show you you don't like that. You feel uncomfortable with that. How do you think you're making me feel
I
when
like
you choose
this
to
comment.
disrespect me?
I like this
And what's
comment.
the comment from
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Lloyd?
Go ahead.
Courtney Lloyd. You
So-
are all making good points. We teach to reach, but some children just don't want to listen and learn, but do what they desire. What I found out in some children say those things worked for you.
That's a
They
big
still
point.
like you. They still what? They say like we don't hold their best interest in heart, but they want you to fund all their wild thoughts and imagination.
I would
Can't
probably
be
I probably use the word BS with that. Fund
Can't
all
be-
their BS.
Can't be disrespectful to the hand that feeds you.
That's true.
But sometimes you sometimes you can't be disrespectful to the hands that feed you, but sometimes you got to stop feeding them. Sometimes you got to let them
Exactly.
starve.
Here's the thing.
So
But-
this is
but
what
some of
George
them-
Yeah, go ahead.
George is agreed. G. Hutch is agreeing with you. So yeah, yes, Sherry Ann, go ahead.
Here's the thing. What I'm saying, right?
Mhm.
There's children that you will tell the parent what is going on, right? And in order for them to say, okay, this is the time for me to stop going and buy things. You're buying the latest sneakers, okay? You're buying all the name brands, and you giving it to them. What in turn you should be withholding it, and that is not done.
That is true. That is true.
Okay, back in our time, we could not disrespect the teachers because guess what? You will get a slap across your mouth. You will get detention. Teachers cannot even have detention for those students because they walk out of class,
That is true.
and it's happening. It's
But I
happening.
think the laws got tougher on parents as the years went about. in regards to abuse. Yeah, you would get slapped across your face or whatever. Nowadays, you go and slap your child across the face, you're going to nicely have an ACS case. And that's what parents are afraid of. That's what parents are, hey, which battle do they want to fight? Do they want to fight the legal battle, or do they want to fight their children battle? So it becomes you're like in a stuck and hold position, because
But
right, you're trying to raise and educate your child, you're trying to bring them up the correct way, but then you have a system that's actually against some of the things that you do. If you do anything wrong, you end up going to jail. You do, so your hands is kind of tied. It's a no-win situation.
Sherry, and I want to.
Here's the thing, though. Here's what I'm saying, right? For us, we couldn't even imagine, say, we're going to call the police. We couldn't imagine calling the police, calling ACS. Guess what? You even think of doing that, you're taking your clothes and you're walking out that door and you're not coming back.
That's true. That's true.
But now, I just said, police, okay, the police come, you call that police, the police say, here, take him or her, and you go with them.
Yeah, back then, my mother didn't play that game. She's like, no, that's it. I want to thank Sherry Ann for the call. Thank you, and keep listening and just roll your comments right in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, have a good evening. Time for us to go to commercial, Mr. Producer. We'll come right back to your comment, George and Empress.
Monet, thank you for your comment. Empress and George, thank you for your comment.
My name is Teresa Abbott. I've been going to Golden Fleece for 5 years. It's a nice place. The people and the staff and everybody in here is very nice. They help us with little things, and I'm glad to be here.
What kind of activities you do?
Dancing. Sometimes I'm an art teacher. We do art. We do different things. We help each other out.
What's your name?
Lillian Williams.
Lillian Williams. So, Miss Williams, tell us a little bit about the social daycare. What is that like for you?
Well, I'm going to tell you, since I've been here, I've been treated like I was an angel. Mm-hmm. They treat me nice. They have respect for us. They take us out, and they make sure that, we are taken care of good. They give us,
Miss Jean and Miss Robert.
No, them two old buzzers.
She got you on don't
No, them two ladies there, with that
Jean
one
and
there
Robert.
and that one there, they
The staff.
are sweet.
You're talking about the staff.
They're
So
sweet as pie.
what would you say to somebody who is thinking about coming? What would you tell that person?
Come. They will
Invite them.
enjoy this. We would be glad to have them.
Invite them and let them see.
Tell us about the activities. Tell me some of the activities you do during the
We
day.
do bingo, we do keno, we do arts and crafts. We do.
That's the point.
Like they have people come in, and she is one of them.
Right. So tell us, what do you enjoy most about the site?
What I enjoy, the people, we like family. I really love
Family here.
Okay.
Could get a better circus.
Awesome. Thank you. We're brought to you by the Golden Fleece. It's coming right here, actually, in Brooklyn, right on Avenue A. So if you have a senior who's interested in being part of Golden Fleece, do come out. The name, it will be different, but it's still under the same umbrella of Golden Fleece. So we're talking about, Danielle says, Empress Danielle says, no parent should slap their children across the face. See, hold on, before you have a comment, right? This is what I always say, she and I argue back and forth, but this is when you have different interpretations. My kid says something inappropriate, that lip is going, right? My mama says use soap, right? That's how I look at it, right? So slapping, punching, I think is an issue. I would say punching is an issue, but I don't know, slapping across the face. I don't know, Empress. You're saying, John?
Empress, I disagree with you. Slap across the face. I think slap them across the face now, because if you choose not to discipline them, I don't believe in this timeout, putting the kids in the corner, timeout. That does a lot more damage to you than just striking a child. If you know how to strike a child, of course, you never want to get to that level. But discipline never hurt anyone. Parents, your parents are from the Caribbean. They believe in discipline. They believe in sheer discipline. My father never spared the rod. Never. Not only that, not only sparing the rod, but making sure I take part in going to church. I take part in certain community activities, and understood that in order for me to live under the roof, somebody was providing a home, a meal, putting clothes on my back. And the only thing they asked me to do was just behave yourself and go to school. Very basic, but we make it more difficult than what it is. So Empress, I can understand. We all discipline our children in different ways, but I don't, I don't believe in sparing the rod.
I think, she and I always have these conversations, and outside of the studio. And one of the things, I think there's a line between abuse and discipline. Mm-hmm. If you are, like, for example, if you're punching your child, I think that's abuse, right? You shouldn't be punching your child, and you shouldn't be repeating the punching child. Like, I see parents put up their hands and say, we're going to fight. Mm-hmm. You should never tell your child, we're going to fight. Right. Because then when you tell somebody I'm going to fight, I'm your equal. Right. You're going to get disciplined for this behavior, period. Right. And so that's part of the issues that we have there. But let me just read a couple of these comments and then we move on, because there's so many things happening in the political world that we didn't even touch on yet. Jails are moneymaker, and the laws are created to put people in them. If your hands are tied and can't correct the bad behavior, when it escalates, they're sent to jail. They become a commodity, and they become an expense account. Monet wrote, "I agree with you all. I raised a boy as a child, and now he's a man."
And just to go on that mode, that's right. Shane has developed into a very good young man, and I'm telling you, Mo never spared the rod, right, Mo? Can't do that.
Right. Yeah, I know Mo, right, from Community Board 18, but she didn't play. Sherry Ann wrote that she totally agrees with you. Ayodele wrote, "I love that beat mentally." Okay, Ayodele, I'm assuming disagrees.
A lot of that beating mentality is rooted in slavery. No, it's not rooted in slavery.
Can I just go ahead? You finish?
I don't. To me, the beating mentality is not rooted in slavery. This is, it even, if you look at certain scriptures in the Bible, where it talks about sparing the rod to spoil.
But it was referring to slaves too in the Bible. They did refer to slavery.
Okay, so I just want to point out, white people.
Go ahead. Hold on. Go ahead, Doc. Please let Doctor elaborate on that.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Elaborate on that, please.
That's it.
So I just want to point out. I just want to point out the obvious. White people cut their children's behind. Black people cut their children's behind. So don't whites. Right? They beat. I don't know. I think, again, now the abuse part can be linked back to slavery. Mm-hmm. There's a difference. I think people keep saying there's a difference between discipline and abuse. Mm-hmm. Disciplining your child is if it's not the same as abusing your child, because abuse is not just physical,
Right.
right?
It's also mental abuse.
It's mental
which
abuse,
is far worse.
right? Which, thank you,
Far worse.
right?
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
When you
I,
talk,
what I don't believe in is you're spanking and punishing.
Mm.
Either you spank or you punish.
Mm.
Spanking should be the last, in my book, the last resort, not the first resort.
No, I agree.
So some people use it as their first
It
resort.
needs to be a conversation first.
Yes, because my child needs to know why you screwed up, right? Parents trying to be friends with their children and not, and I find that a lot, and that is an issue for me. I hate when a parent goes, "This is my best friend. My child is my best friend." Where?
My father said,
this one
"You
is
ain't no friend. Your
yes.
child ain't no friend."
I agree. Mental abuse creates trauma. Thank you for joining us, Betty.
That's
Right.
true. Betty's right.
Yeah. It's
And that trauma gets triggered.
physical abuse causes trauma too. I mean, if you abuse, period.
Both abuse, period, like you said.
Abuse on any level causes trauma.
Verbal,
Right?
physical.
What is slap them in the face is abuse. No
Yeah.
beating. I never hit my children. Yeah, well, your children are special. They might not have needed a beating. Maybe the conversations were good enough that they don't need a spanking. Right? Slap them in the face is abuse. I disagree. I think repeated slapping in the face is abuse.
Right.
Slapping in the face. I totally disagree with you that slapping in the face is abuse. Absolutely not. Right?
Well,
right?
You know who got a slap in the face?
Who?
Donald Trump.
Oh, you said change the topic. Yo, what they call a Humpty Grumpty, Trumpty Grumpty, or something like that.
He
Right?
got a slap
New York Post.
He
You
got
know,
a slap
right?
in the face.
I know we love this topic, but we do need to move on to another. Let me see. I raised 3 children to adulthood. Ayodele. I can count the times they receive respect. I agree. That's what we're saying. Oh, I refer to the word beat stemmed from slavery. That is something that there's nobody in here would disagree with that comment.
Right.
I don't want to. Yes, it can be. It can definitely be perceptive.
It is. A slap in the face is disrespectful.
Yeah.
And
But-
shaking and belittling or whatever. And that's traumatizing because many times things that parents think might not be traumatizing or might not, I'm disciplining my child. The person will remember years later and they'll never forget.
The thing that they would forget, right? I remember, let me say, the things that that you as the adult will forget is if you're abusive and you do it repeatedly.
Or even if it's just one time, embarrassment in front of someone else.
Shaming, not shaking. What do you mean by shaming, not shaking? I don't know what that means, Ayodele.
Shaming, like embarrassing them in front of other people.
Oh, sometimes they need to be. Sometimes they need to be. Sometimes
it depends. It depends.
I don't care.
It does depend.
Sometimes let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you. My son, if I have to go to school because of your stupid behavior in school, that's where the behavior was. And so you have to understand that school is not the place, right? That you need to act like a fool.
Damn right.
So therefore, in school, I was gambling in school. I was in the 8th grade at my 11.
And gambling?
And gambling with quarters. Because back in the days, we were gambling with quarters.
Yeah, we did that all the time.
Right. You shoot the quarters 3 times as yours.
Yeah.
Mr. Berkowitz, I don't know if you remember Mr. Berkowitz, a shop teacher, called my father, right? Went to the dean, Mel Chafkin. And Mel Chafkin called my father up. And my father began to preach. It never happened again. My father never had to come to school.
Wait, he preached in your classroom?
He preached like there's no tomorrow. Ask me if I was embarrassed. right? My father probably don't even remember this, but he never had to come to school again.
No.
Never,
No,
right?
no,
Never.
no.
So sometimes the
fact
embarrassment,
in the
right?
school.
Because
Oh,
you know what the facts are?
uh-huh.
Every parent is embarrassing.
Every parent.
Every parent and every child knows that. That's why
Yeah.
every child, and you speak to a child, you say to them, "Hey, Dr. Brian,
Oh,
which one of your parents you don't want to come up?" And they'll tell you.
My father, I never wanted to see.
There
my
you
father.
go.
Man, because my father one time, I had to beg the teacher. I said, please don't call my father because I'm going to be dead. I said, I'm going to be dead.
Great, you know.
Because my father would come and he would beat me in front of the entire class.
Yep. You want to act like a fool in class? I'm gonna teach you. This is not what you learn at home.
Exactly.
So I hear the embarrassing piece. I do hear it.
But sometimes you got to.
But if you don't want to be embarrassed, don't embarrass yourself.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that mother that comes up, you know, she just roll up out of bed.
Oh Lord.
and
don't make her miss work.
Don't
make her miss work.
Lord have his mercy.
Oh boy.
You know that it's the parent that's abusive that I have a problem with. Like they don't have the interaction, the conversation. And then when it gets too late and they get desperate, now it's too late because now you already taught the kids violence. He preached, then he put his hands on you, then also he just preached. He didn't beat me. No, I didn't get a beating, but that talk, that embarrassment was far worse. Right. Moving on. We got to move on a little bit. A lot of things happened. Go ahead, Dr. Brian.
I'm disappointed with the Democrats, and I've been saying that for a while because here it is. Not pushing in the way they should have known.
Can we start with a positive first? I want to start with two positives.
Go ahead. Start with
the positive. I want to start off. Our
governor?
No.
Start with
that? No. I'm not starting with that. I'm starting with congratulations to Governor Deal-elect Deal in Massachusetts. First woman to be elected as governor of Massachusetts. I also want to congratulate Wes Moore as governor-elect of Maryland, of Caribbean descent. For those of you who didn't know that, he's of Jamaican heritage. So congratulations to him. And of course, congratulations to our full-term governor, Kathy Hochul. And also to my friend, Monique Chandler Waterman, and her first official term as Assemblywoman right here in Brooklyn. So, and to Brian Cunningham as well, my friend Brian, who also, both of them were on our show. So we're very pleased. Congratulations.
All right. Yes.
So I'll start with those. Kevin Parker, thank you for all of those. So I'll start with the positives. Right. And now you can take it away. You were saying something.
My disappointment with the Democrat Party. They should have known that automatically when one party wins and is in full control of just everything, you're going to have to be smarter. You're going to have to be more aggressive. People are going to come out to come and get, they were planning and they work collaboratively. That's the thing. We don't work together. We work against each other. And that's the reason why we had the defeat that we did.
What defeat we talking about, Doc?
You know one defeat I'm concerned about, John?
Which defeat we talking about, Doc?
Sean Patrick Maloney.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Sean Patrick Maloney, and you and Dr. Brian, and less me, but the two of you all, I'm throwing y'all both out there in the front.
Good.
Talked about the insurrection.
Yeah.
And how America didn't want to hear anything more about it.
I don't think America did want to hear.
Right. And so a lot of those candidates, they're Democrats. Trumpers lost too, right? But a lot of candidates who lost in close areas were people who were talking about January 6th. A lot of them lost. So
Roderick,
that
let's break
Right.
this down. Now, the people who lost in those areas was because of inflation,
Mm-hmm.
crime,
Mm-hmm.
and the economy. That's what it is. Their message wasn't. Their message was not clear. And remember, you cannot start campaigning when you are up for re-election. You have to start campaigning the very next day you are elected. And the chair of the DSCC, no, the
DNC.
Democratic,
Yeah,
the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, he's in charge of it. He's the one who making certain, but you see what he did was it was more self-interest because the young Mondale Jones had to run in another district because he declared that he was going to run in that district. If he would have stayed in the 18th congressional district, there's a possibility maybe he could have won. You know,
No, he would have won because Mandir
no,
won.
what I'm saying is Mondale lost.
Mandir lost.
Yeah,
No.
he had to come down to the city and run in the district that was in the city here.
No, but it was still part of his district.
Because Maloney decided to jump in that district without even conversing with that. Hey, Uncle P, glad to hear you, man. I'm gonna make it clear, Uncle P. But we got to have Uncle P on our show too. I will definitely bring Uncle P on our show.
You're the man.
Yeah, but what happened is that he just got caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? And
he thought that he could have won it.
Right. He left his flank. He thought he was just going to win. He left his flank open. And he's a disciple from Hillary Clinton. You know, you think, new district that no, at all. You have to run like you are behind all the time. But also the turnout. And the turnout specifically, Kathy Hochul Governor Hochul, was able to win her election because she racked it up in the city. She beat him by almost, 40%. Beat him. The distribution was almost 40%. But in the neighboring suburbs and upstate, she lost.
Yeah.
So her coattails didn't carry some of the congressional candidates, but it also had to deal with the redistricting because the Senate Democrats screwed up the redistricting, so they had to let an independent moderator come in and draw those lines. And there's it should never happen because the Republicans, when they did redistricting, they always knew how to go right up to the line,
they got greedy.
but they never went over. But
Mhm.
the Senate Democrats got greedy, and as a result, we lost all those congressional seats in New York State.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they did like the Republicans, just went up to the line but not over it, the majority in the Congress would be Nancy Pelosi would still be Speaker today.
And as of right now, she hasn't lost yet.
No, she hasn't lost yet, but
it's more than likely.
It's more than likely things could change, but it's because that's how important it is for these local races.
And you know what? Maybe she needs a break after her husband was attacked. After going through all that, people have a good portion.
I think Nancy's not going to run. I think it's over. I think if they lose the majority, I think Nancy steps out, and then therefore you're going to have a race for Speaker. And that's going to be
Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem Jeffries. There's this woman from out in the Northeast in Massachusetts up there. So it's going to be
I'm beginning. It's funny. Saying it publicly, I guess I shouldn't say it publicly, but I'm beginning to wonder about Hakeem Jeffries. Begin to wonder a little bit. I think he needs a real challenger. Not that I don't think he's doing work in his district, but I think he's becoming like an Ed Towns, where you're in a district where you're not going to lose.
You know, I can't
honestly,
concur. I can't concur with you.
I know.
No. Yeah,
It's
I call it as I
opinion-based.
see. You know,
It's an opinion-based question.
I think
That's your opinion.
the reason you are unchallenged in your district is because you do the work.
Not necessarily.
Nah, you do the work, because you cannot sit around your district for a long period of time and do absolutely nothing.
That's
You may
true.
not see it, but you know,
I don't know if I agree with you. I don't know.
that's your opinion.
You know why I don't agree with you?
Why you don't agree?
Adelphus Towns was elected I believe between 80 and 84, he was elected congressman.
Right.
Until 2012.
Right.
When he stepped down.
Right.
At some point, he was one of the highest ranking black person from New York. Outside, I think he and Major Owens, but I think more so him than Major Owens.
Right.
He did, for the last 12 years of his career, nothing.
I would disagree.
He
with you
had
about that.
the name. I'm just saying to you that,
Roger, when you say nothing, there's a lot of things that they do, but you may not see them, but they have done it. That's why they keep getting elected. The district is if you think if you can continue to do nothing and people are going to reelect you, that is a complete fallacy in this day and time. You have to produce, and all politics is retail politics. It is local politics. It's the legislation
that I agree with.
The legislation that impacts us on our daily lives is local. What goes on in Congress ain't got nothing to do with us. It's about local, ladies and gentlemen. So I disagree with Mr. Daly when it comes to our congressional people. You know, he talks about Hakeem, or he talks about former Congressman Adelphus Towns. If you're doing your homework, and your homework starts day one after you are elected or reelected, people know who you are. They see you. They can touch you.
Yep.
You know, constituent service is the key. So just because you think, just because a person continues to win their election unopposed, or it does not mean that they're not doing the work. That means they are doing the work, and they're not waiting around until
election time.
They're not going to visit the churches during election time. First time they're seeing them, they're delivering they're going to those churches from the inception of from the inception. So
you know what? I have to give a shout out to Brian Cunningham, because he held his word after he got elected. He said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to share with you guys what I'm doing or whatever. The day he got elected, he came back, either the day or the day after. So holding your word as an elected official, going back and acknowledging, like you mentioned, acknowledging where it is.
It's the people. It's retail politics. And that's what it is. And, you know, that's why a lot of the Democrats, like the Republicans, you know, I love to listen to Fox and Friends, a little of Fox News, Fox and Friends in the morning, the 5 in the afternoon. And you see their perspective. They are so staunched Republican, and they don't look. I mean, you have to look. If you want to be considered to be legitimate, or you got to call it as you see it. You know, if it's a positive, it's positive. If it's negative, negative, irrespective if it's Democrat or Republican. Right. This is the problem with a lot of mainstream media. They try to put their own opinion or their twist on what they perceive or what they think politics should be. Call it as you see it for what it is. And that gives you the credibility. That gives you the credibility. You back?
Yeah, I'm just telling you that they have to lock up. We're in the studio. So Andre's in here, so kind of like I'm becoming Andre at the same time.
I can lock up the studio if you need to.
No. I'm just telling you that we have to lock up. Yeah. So I heard the last thing I heard, and going back to that you respectfully disagree. That's fine. You have the right to disagree. Not that I wouldn't vote for him.
Dr. Bryant disagreed too. So it's 2 against 1, brother.
You disagree?
I do. I do.
He doesn't even. You know what? Since I've been chair of the board, we have had 2 meetings and several committee meetings. He has not shown up to one.
It's okay.
But he doesn't show up. But it's fine that he doesn't show up because he's
busy.
His staff doesn't show up.
Well, then that does not mean
he's not doing the work.
Exactly. That doesn't mean he's not doing the work. But what you should do as chair of the board, you should send a note to the congressman and say, hey, I can understand you're not being here, but your staff is not here.
Yeah, I'm probably going to write him and tell him that.
And that's because he make, most of us elected officials, we make sure our staff goes to these meetings. And if they don't attend these meetings, there's a problem. That is perfect example of not dealing with retail politics. And that is when you become vulnerable, because when people don't see you, as the comment Mr. Daly just made, our congressman needs to be challenged. And the reason he's basing it upon is because the staff people, the congressman doesn't come. It's not even the staff people.
You know what?
It just shows you a lack of respect. Mr. Daly is looking for respect from the board. So you see, when it comes down to respect.
So that's a good point. I've been involved with the board for 9 years. He was elected about 2012, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since I got appointed to the board 2013, I don't think I've ever seen Akeem.
All right, can we get off the topic?
No, it's important, the topic, because we're talking about politics. Since 2013, he has not been to the board one time that I can remember. Not that he hasn't. But wait, hold on.
So
I want to go back to. I want to go back to Dr. Bryant's
before
question.
you make the comment, you have to make sure.
I know his staff has.
You're making a comment,
right?
So staff represent him.
Not wait, hold on. But I know factually that Yvette Clarke has been to the board. I also know factually that Chuck Schumer has been to the board, right? And Kirsten Gillibrand has never been. Neither has their staff, but she basically represents Chuck Schumer's from downstate. The point that I'm making, going back to your question, your comment earlier, the Democrats are about to lose the damn House because they take things for granted. That's kind of like my point. So at this juncture, the Republicans need 9 seats to take the House. When I left my house, it was 209 because I was watching it because I wanted to be able to talk about it on the show today. 209 to 192. So there are 400. For those of you who don't understand politics, there are 435 members to the Congress, and in order for whichever party to win, they basically need 218. So that's 435 divided by 2 is it's 217.5, but you can have half of a person, so 218.
I don't know about that now.
Right? Well, you're half of a person, right? And then the Senate is there are 100 people in the Senate. So if they're 50-50, the vice president, whatever party that is the deciding vote. So
and Arizona just won for Democrats. Kelly.
So they announced Arizona?
Arizona.
Okay. Well, they didn't announce when I got home, so you got more news than I did. So now it's 49-49. So now you have Georgia and you have Nevada. So if the Democrat,
Nevada, we're down in Nevada.
No, we're not, because Arizona, Georgia has a runoff.
No, I said we're down in Nevada.
Oh yeah, we're down. Oh, the Democrats are down. That's what you meant.
Yeah, 51.6% for Kelly and Masters 46.2%.
Okay. Arizona. So if the Democrats hold 49 and hold Georgia, which they're up in Georgia, and they run off, if they continue this way and Warnock wins. It still goes back to 50-50. Kamala Harris is the vice president, so that she now becomes the president vote. Now, let's be careful. I want everybody to know this. In 2024, if it's 50-50 and the Republicans win, then they're no longer the majority. So that's why it's also important. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but whatever you believe in, you need to get out and vote. Whether if you're Democrat or Republican, because that race in 2024 is pivotal in terms of who controls the House. And not the House, the Senate. Sean Patrick Malinowski, and I might be pronouncing it wrong, in Jersey, lost. Right? You lost seats. Sean Patrick Maloney was the congressman since 2012. So he was there for 5 terms. To come back and lose to a one-term assemblyman in Lawler says a lot. Tom Kane Jr. could understand that his father was the governor. The name carries.
He held that seat before Malinowski. Malinowski beat him by a very slim margin.
Right, and he came back and he beat him again. Malinowski beat him in twice. He beat him twice, right? And he came back and he won because he went to the state senate. So that I could understand somewhat, but it's carelessness. In Brooklyn, Staten Island was a good race, even though Max Rose lost, because Max Rose held the seat in 2018, lost to Nicole Malliotakis in 2020, and lost again in 2022. Right? So that's a challenge, but at least it's a race. Hakeem Jeffries does not have a race. And I'm afraid of the now, why is it New York State, as large as it is, has not had Yvette Clarke, Jerry Nadler, Nydia Velasquez, Carolyn Maloney. I think she just lost. She lost to Jerry Nadler in the primary. Why the city of New York, which has approximately 7 congresspersons, I might be having my numbers off. I'm not going to go. Yeah, Bowman. Never mind. I'm not going to do the count. Why none of them have been? Hakeem Jeffries now is close because I think he's either the deputy whip or the deputy something.
He's the conference.
I think he's a deputy. I think there's a deputy something
leader.
Conference leader, right? Except for him, why don't I? When you watch television, we don't see our Congress people, right? I saw Bowman a couple weeks ago.
I see Congressman Jeffries. I do see.
Yeah, and I see him once in a while, and a clip of him. Why is it that we don't have the visibility?
Visibility for what?
Why don't we have the visibility?
Yo, let me ask you a question. You worry about visibility, you worry about work.
The visibility comes from the work.
Who says that?
What do you mean by who says that?
Who says that? Because you got to be visible, that means you're working?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know a lot of senators who are visible, elected officials are visible, but their staff, they don't do no work. They don't do nothing for people.
True. That's true too.
All right, then. So come on now.
I don't know, John. I don't know, but so
if you don't know,
I do know. When I say I don't know, it doesn't mean that knowledgeably I don't know. That's the expression I don't know, as in I don't know, John. I'm not really agreeing with you. I don't know. Not I don't know as in I'm ignorant. I don't know. Although I can be ignorant.
Oh hell yeah.
Look, so what was your biggest surprise?
Biggest surprise?
I wouldn't even talk about Biden's speech today.
My biggest surprise for the election? No, it wasn't. You know what? It really was no surprise for me. Well, you can't. You know what? I've been hearing this talk of a red wave, tidal wave, and all of this. It didn't happen that way at all. But what I was surprised at was the way the issue of abortion was real. What the issue of abortion triggered a lot of women and a lot of men to vote in this midterm election.
The moderates and the independents, yeah,
because
a larger increase.
And I think what Biden did was smart. He said your democracy was in jeopardy. You had January 6th and you had Roe versus Wade. Your rights were being impinged upon. And they can take away your right to choose. Next thing, they're going to take your right to have same-sex marriage. They're going to take away your look at what's going on with affirmative action now.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing I learned in politics. Don't give someone something and then try to take it away.
But it happened.
I don't know, John. I think that's what I think sometimes people are too willing to give things away. Right? I think people are too willing to give things away. So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us right here in the Village. We're just talking about the politics, about everything, and we are brought to you by the Single Parent University. We have open admissions year round. Please join us at the Single Parent University, where you can get course curriculum, personal development, mindful parenting, support seminar, financial management, nutrition and wellness, free session childcare, transportation, social support hub, resume and cover letter writing, career exploration, legal assistance, and the like. So please join us on the Single Parent University, 646-779-6767, or text to SPU to 71441. Again, that's the Single Parent University. Get out. We spoke about education and respect and helping you with children earlier. This is a good opportunity for you to get that out. So when we look at, so that's a key race. The Arizona race is no, not Nevada race.
What was that woman running for governor? That crazy ass Lake woman, whatever.
Yeah, but she's like points away.
I know, that shit is crazy.
Yeah, she's like points away. What's that? Let me see if I could pull it up myself here.
Which one?
Arizona. No, that's Nevada actually. No, it's Arizona. Right, Arizona governor elections. So let me go back. What do you have here? Oh no, this is Blake Masters versus Mark Kelly, not the right one. So I think then it is
governor's race.
Oh, that's okay. Hold on, let me go back. Notable House, Arizona, which Andre was in the studio. That would be so helpful. Arizona
Senate is Kelly.
Yeah, I know.
Nevada.
Arizona.
Governor's
race. I'm looking up, just typing in Arizona.
50.
Here we go.
50.5%, and Lake is 49.5%.
Yeah, Lake's a fucking nut. Oh, sorry. I apologize. Legit. But she is a nut. She is a nut.
Oh my God, John. It's funny because something we were talking about today, John. They said that sometimes people who listen in, they're like, oh, sometimes he's on point. But Gmo, Christmas, John has to pay for dinner for all of us for that.
I did already, so don't even.
No, for that today. You can't pay in advance. You can't I paid already. Let me. No, you gotta do it again. Yeah. She's borderline crazy.
She denies. She's still denying.
She's in denial.
Oh my God, January 6th.
What is this? A slap in the face. Oh no, this earlier.
So what about Trump dissing his
Oh.
boyfriend?
DeSantis, what do you call him? What
Yeah,
call him?
DeSantis, yeah.
What do you call him, Doc? What do you call him?
His little boyfriend, DeSantis.
What did he call him? He said,
Oh my God. He said his wife is the one who's running everything. He's gonna embarrass him and put all his secrets out.
He
Oh,
said something. What did he talk about? He called him what?
oh wait.
He dissed him something. He got a nickname for him already.
Yeah,
Something.
And you know, and yo, but let me tell you something. He was DeSantis, right?
Yo, DeSantis. Let me
So
tell you
he
something.
uploads. Here it is.
DeSantis is worse than Trump, y'all.
Former. Hold on. Let me just read what it says. Hold on. Why it matters? Oh, it just went back. Let's go back. So Trump's Thursday released a long statement deriding his relationship with Governor Tom DeSantis. Ron DeSantis.
What does that mean? Please. What do you mean by deriding? Please.
You're the lawyer.
No.
After the Florida Republican easily held into his seat, the Trump delivered a series of Trump-endorsed candidates pivotal to race. Okay, with Trump, the former branded right, here we go. So he branded him as an average Republican who owes his political success to Trump.
He does. He does.
To Trump's endorsement in 2018 governor's race.
He does. He
also lashed on DeSantis' response to question about his own race. The fake news asked him if he's going to run, if President Trump runs, and he says, "I'm only focused on the governor's race. I'm not looking into the future." Trump said in the statement, "Well, in terms of loyalty and class, that's really not the right answer." So I guess he's expecting for him to say no. Right, so it was coming more likely Trump will face a large. I'm trying to say, Ron came to me in desperate shape in 2017. Wow, he was deriding. So now you get what deriding means, right, ladies and gentlemen? He was politically dead, losing in a landslide. Trump said in this thing, right? Trump said that Ron had low approval rating, bad polls, and no money. But he said that if I could endorse him, he would win. You know, it's actually probably true.
It was true. Trump pulled him over. Trump did pull Ron. Ron DeSantis owes Trump his governorship, in Florida. And I'm telling y'all, Ron DeSantis is far worse than Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He is a wolf in sheep clothing.
Mm-hmm.
You may think he's calm and moderate, but his policies are horrendous. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I respect about Donald Trump, he will tell you like it is. You got to be careful with Ron DeSantis.
But Donald Trump also tells a lot of lies.
He tells a lot, but you know who he is.
He flips the truth a whole lot.
You know who he is.
And to top it off, why is he fighting so hard not to show his taxes, to show that he's broke? Is that it?
No, it's not about he's broke. He's going to show you that he's a scammer, man. He got all that money, all those mortgages on buildings when the income wasn't correct. That's fraud.
It's funny. I haven't heard much from Tish James about what is she doing with
his case, or him suing her? Which one?
Huh?
He's suing her.
Yeah. Well, he could sue all he wants. He won't win, but that's the point. Like, we don't hear much that, because it was hot and heavy before her campaign, and it kind of like fizzed out, right? A couple of things in the news. The police officers shot at a car, opened fire at a car as the driver fled when police tried to pull over the car on Wednesday afternoon, right? Shots were fired after the attempted traffic stop at Rockaway Parkway and Shore Parkway in Canarsie section, 6 to 9 precinct local. At least one officer was hit by the car. Officers said officers were attempted to pull over a vehicle, possibly connected to a previous shooting. 6 officers were taken to the hospital in connection with the incident, but it wasn't immediately clear So that's not cool, right? FBI Director Ray, anti-Semitism remain. Talking about anti-Semitism.
Right.
Kanye West. How is it that Adidas,
Yeah, that's
his sneakers cost $400?
Mm-hmm.
Those Yeezys cost $400. So Adidas will continue, and that's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
They continue to sell the sneakers,
But remove his brand.
But
then you know what? They won't sell it.
Yeah, of course they will.
They won't sell. Are you kidding?
They said they're doing it. They're doing it right now.
They won't make you watch the volume of sales. You see what happens.
Right?
If I was Kanye West, this is the time where I produce my own sneakers. Use my money and let me manufacture. Let me produce and manufacture my own sneakers.
Because he helped out Balenciaga.
Definitely.
Right. He helped out Balenciaga. He helped out Adidas. And now they drop. You know what's funny though? We were talking about last week.
Is that he doesn't have the infrastructure to do that.
Oh, well, Jordan did.
Have the money.
Jordan did. So you created a factory.
Well, Jordan, no, Michael Jordan did. Nike does it all. Michael Jordan is not involved in that.
And the same thing with Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie, man. To me, Kyrie is too much of a distraction. It's all about himself. He's very selfish. You don't think about your team and everything else, the impact it can have on it. So, Kyrie is, and you know what? Every team that he's been on, he's had problems with. And what's the common denominator? Kyrie Irving.
And every team gets rid of him.
Talented individual. But his antics, his antics off the court, it just brings.
I don't think it's just off the court. It's also on the court too.
Yeah, sometimes enough is enough. Let's just move on.
I don't know.
I don't know why the heck they got rid of James Harden, especially for Ben Simmons, who's a lump.
All right. They blew out the Knicks last night though.
Yeah, I know they blew out the Knicks.
All right. But
what you got to say that for?
Yeah, because
what you got to say that for?
I'm a Knicks fan too. I'm telling you, I'm a Knicks fan.
I'm not. So
I am. I grew up a Knicks fan.
Well, Dr. Bryant, don't start.
Listen, my father's a Knicks person, but guess what? They've been losing forever and ever and ever.
Oh shit! Here we go.
John.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They've been losing since I was a young buck, and oh my God! Please, Patrick Ewing was on. He was losing constantly. I don't want to hear.
Was about that. Stop that. You need to stop that. Apparently, you weren't watching. You were not watching the Knicks. They got robbed in '98, and John Starks needed to do better in '94. In '98, they got robbed with that fight. They purposely had that fight, pulled them down.
Well, we're in what
the league decided that the Knicks were too good. It was 98 or 99. It was 98, right?
No, they lost to San Antonio in 2000.
Right in the finals.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't 2000. It was 99. It was 99.
In the finals.
Was it 2000?
San Antonio.
In the finals?
Mm-hmm.
2000?
Yep.
I don't remember that. I remember 99.
You were sleeping this one.
Yeah, probably. And then 94, John Starks.
Yeah. Good old John.
Yeah, like ride or die.
Mm-hmm. Anthony Mason, man, may he rest in peace.
Yep, Anthony Mason. 6'7". That's when the big man came out to be the guard.
Yeah.
He was playing guard. He passed away a long time ago. 53 years old. Wow.
Really?
He passed away probably about 8 to 10 years ago.
No, not 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, man, it's about that long. Yeah. So going back. Oh, by the way, I want to make a shout out to Trisha Bailey. I just got to make the shout out because everybody's giving me the same post. She's the richest Jamaican woman right now.
Oh, yes.
At $750 million.
What does she do?
She's a business person. What's his name? Anthony Mason, right? She's a businesswoman. She has an investment, her own plane, all of that good stuff.
Nice. $750 million.
Yeah, 7 years. Almost 8 years. He February 2015. All right. So shout out to her. I want to take this point before the show finishes. All right. to do three things.
What's that?
One, the
Recession.
negative.
What's the negative?
Three different condolences.
Oh God.
One to my family. Right. I lost one of my cousins on Monday.
May rest in
Oh,
peace.
sorry.
My cousin Clovis, she had breast cancer and didn't make it. And she died on Monday. I got that news early in the morning. So that was, obviously not, I wasn't, it's very bad news. I love my cousin Clovis. She was very special, a prayer warrior. I'm gonna say publicly, I didn't like what the church did to her. Not the church that she went through. I felt like they didn't do a good job. She worked for the church for over 30 years, and I felt like they put her to the dogs. And then when she got sick, I just felt like,
Roger,
I'm gonna say
a lot of places do that. I'm so sorry that she experienced that, and I'm so sorry that she had to go through that.
Yep, it was tough.
But
I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop there because there's a couple more. I'm going to stop there. I'm just going to say that, my cousin, the second thing is my former principal, Veronica Peterson. I want to extend my condolence to her. She lost her husband yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So I want to extend my condolences to her as well. And finally, to Kenneth White. He passed away earlier this week, I think Sunday. Kenneth White, his daughter went to my 11. He was very pivotal. He and his significant other were very instrumental in help Mr. Cameron and I and Mr. Gentile as we pushed the international tour for young people abroad. So I just want to make sure to extend the condolences to all three. I want to wish a happy birthday to my Auntie Bev. Her birthday was earlier this week. And then happy birthday to my Uncle Trevor, whose birthday is on Tuesday.
Happy birthday.
Who bought me the cover. So I just want to say happy birthday to Bert and Kenneth. Go ahead, John. You all right?
Yeah.
You sure? You got, I saw like something.
No, I'm just thinking about just life, man.
Yeah, life is tough. It's funny. Not funny. My cousin Clovis, I found out about her cancer around the same time as mine. And she came to the United States she lived in Jamaica. And she came to the United States and, she was like looking at me as I'm looking at her. But like at that point, I was really not in the right place to know that she passed. Kind of like it made me think, right? Calvin Butts, Reverend Calvin Butts, who he also had the same thing.
But you know what?
That I had, but things are just different. But it makes you think about it, though.
It makes you think, but it just makes you understand that every day is cherished. Cherish every day, and just live one day at a time. That's it. One day at a time. Every day is a freaking gift from God. That's it. Bottom line, just keep moving, and grooving. One day you'll be pretty like me,
Yeah, that is very true. So if you're in the local area, few community events on Tuesday at the Seventh-day Adventist Church at East 21st Street. They'll be talking about a couple of local issues, including housing, let me not tell you the wrong thing. So it is the right address for those of you who are coming out. This month actually is Pancreatic Awareness Month, so please do reach out to anyone the local hospitals, and find out a little bit more to different individuals. I did this wrong. Talking about pancreatic awareness and being out there to do whatever need to do to learn. Diabetes awareness is something that we need to talk about within our own communities. We're going to try to have somebody on to talk about that. Many of our people are suffering from diabetes, and so need to be educated about it. So East Flatbush Community Partnership, the Center for Law, Social Justice, and the East Flatbush Community Development Corporation. So just to say, the event Heard at Home is a community conversation on issues of concern in the community, such as housing, employment, immigration, and education. We hope to see you there. This will be held on Tuesday, November 15th, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Seventh-day Adventist Church on East 21st, 261 East 21st.
I want to shout out Big H. Big H, thanks for giving us that information. Trump called him Ron DeSanctimonious.
Yes.
Thanks, Big H. Very interesting news that just came across.
What happened?
Federal judge, Dr. Bryant, we have a problem. Houston.
About Texas?
No.
The student loan in Texas?
Yeah, federal judge strikes down Biden student debt relief program.
Strikes down. Oh, okay.
Interesting. District Judge Mark Pittman, a Trump appointee. What else he figured? Ruled that the program, which would have provided borrowers up to $20,000 in student loan relief, was an unconstitutional exercise of Congress's legislative power. Really? Figures. All right. To be continued.
To be continued. God bless each and every one of you. We're looking forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah.
And it's very, very excited to all the veterans out there. Happy Veterans Day tomorrow. Please make sure you do something to celebrate.
Yeah, happy Veterans Day, definitely.
All right. And all of you who came out to vote, thank you so much for doing that and exercising your right. Savannah says, "Hey, John." John. So Savannah, Allo, or is that Ato? Allo.
Oh, what's up, Kizzy?
All right,
Kizzy, thanks for the bacon saltfish. It was pretty good. I don't know where you get them Frankfurters from, but I don't know. It was all right. But thanks, Kizzy.
So God bless each other. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. All your comments, we appreciate it. Whatever it was, thank you for the phone calls, although who called in. God bless. So thank you so much for sharing, viewing, listening to the Village Radio Talk Show right here, 92.1 FM on YouTube. Please do subscribe and share. Do subscribe and share on our YouTube channel. And we're looking forward to seeing you next week, where we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, starting from today. God bless.
God bless. God bless.
God bless you. Be safe out there.